Hey guys, what is up? Here's a little breakdown on a gbpusd trade we sent out to our members today. So this is going to be a 5-minute recap video. I want to show you guys how simple this stuff really can be. Looking at structure on gbpusd, I literally just made a video about this the other day, talking about what we're looking at on the higher time frames. So I'm not going to go over that too much, but I will show you some of the intermediate structure. Like on the 15-minute, you guys can clearly see on the 15-minute, this was our structure. So we made a leg to the downside. Now higher time frames, this is a leg pullback. This is all one ginormous leg, but this is really kind of where we got that push down. I'll go to the 4-hour headline. So you guys can see we had a leg pullback. Where do we actually break through and create a lower low, giving that continuation break of structure? We get it right here. Now, this is the deepest or the deepest high in this pullback from here up and out. But these highs here are the highs that actually produce the lows. So if we are going to head up, it's going to be into this. Now that's assuming though that we end up breaking the supply that we have right here, which I would honestly be a bit surprised if we do. I don't anticipate price breaking this, because you can see within this, most recent price action leg, this is the last up close candle. That is where we are heading to, guys. There is no doubt about that, in my opinion. So if we look at the structure, you can see that we had a high, low, broke above, higher low, higher high, higher, a low. Now I was about to say higher low, but it's actually not confirmed yet. It's confirmed when we break above this, and when we break and close above this most recent high, that is our new higher high. So I was looking at this on the 30-minute. On 30-minute, you can see you finally close above here. So this is the higher high. So now again, it's high, low, high, low, higher high. So this is the higher low. So we should not trade below this level. Now looking at this candle here mitigated this wick right here that actually swept out this low, and this low. So this wick swept out all these lows, and then we pushed up, mitigated down, right? So after we mitigated here, we ended up pushing up and again creating that higher high on the higher time frame. So looking at our POIs, we were personally eyeing this level here because we had a singular wick low here. We had all of this liquidity right here, right? So we had a ton of liquidity, and then we had this singular wick low, right? So we wanted to see price trade into this. Now it did barely miss that level, but what it ended up doing was sweeping the low, missing this level by just a hair, and then it actually broke structure to the upside right here. So this was a break of structure to the upside. Now this here was a mitigation of a candle all the way down in this region of price right here. So we had this single leg to the upside. Single leg to the upside, and now we shouldn't trade below this low. So where's our POI? Is down here below this liquidity and this singular wick low, like I said. So we missed this level by just a little bit, but we ended up breaking structure to the upside, and then we retraced all the way back down to the origin of the leg that broke structure. So this is the leg that broke structure. You can see price made almost 100% retracement back down into this level. And if you want to refine it, or if you wanted to refine it, you could have. We did send this as a trade to our members, but you could have refined it to the wick right here. We didn't do that, but that is a legitimate trade, and that's because it ran out this low here. So price really should not trade below this wick, and this is just a refined entry based off of what we were seeing. Again, we did not take the trade like that. So targets for us are up here, at 1.3688, right? Which is a 1 to 65. And you can see even here, there were several entries. So we ended up trading into that wick here. And then we had high, low, broke above this here, higher high. So we don't anticipate this one breaking. You could have entered at the 50% here, and you would have not been tapped out of the trade, and it would currently be up probably an unbelievable amount in terms of risk to reward. So you guys can see there's a little entry here. There is also another entry right here that I actually ended up taking. This is a structural point, right? This is the low or the high that produced the lower low down here. So this high produced that lower low. All right. And we ended up breaking above that. So what did I notice? I noticed that we had this entire area unmitigated, or if you really wanted to, this was an unmitigated candle. So you could have gotten some absurd entries on this. You could have gotten this crazy one here. You could have gotten this one here. You could have gotten this one here. And this one sadly would have been tapped out, but you can see there was high, low, higher high. What do we naturally expect? We naturally expect a higher low, and that's what we ended up getting here. Now I waited, or was going to wait, for price to break some structure within this zone. And the zone that I was just referring to is this one here, this 1 hour. So you can see you had some equal lows. They were swept out with this candle here. And again, notice this was, we entered here off of this mitigation, right down in here. We entered off the mitigation of here, push up, mitigate. Now this is the overall mitigation of the mitigation of this. So the mitigation of this is this mitigated the mitigation of this. Swept lows, super clean hourly candle. We were going to send this out as a signal, but elected not to, just because we never got that confirmation. You could see it though on the lower time frames that all of the concepts were there, because when we got down to this level, it was too perfect. You can see lows, low, break above, sweep of the low, and then we went. Now I wanted to enter here. Price, I had an order here. Price barely missed it, which is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. And price ended up continuing up, doing exactly what we expected. So that's a higher time frame narrative. But looking at the lower time frame, again, this will be easy since I just broke it down. So this is a higher time frame leg from here to here, higher time frame leg. So within this higher time frame leg right here, we had a little break of structure right there. You guys can clearly see where I'm referring to. We had a break of structure, and we're just trending to the downside. So what are we going to do? We're going to look at the lower time frames and try to sell it down to our POI, and that's exactly what we ended up doing. Now the logic on this trade was we had this low, and then we mitigated this up close with this, pushed down, made a lower low. So we broke structure here, mitigated this up close, push down, lower low. What do we mitigate? Had a couple of POIs. We had a POI right here. All right, so POI right here, missed that one, mitigated this, but made a lower low. So just continuation breaks the structure. So BOS to the downside, just indicating a continuation of the trend. And then, so what do? We look at where we can enter our trade, right? Where can we enter? Well, this mitigated this up close candle in here. So that is a good region to be looking at for price. So this mitigated in here. And then we can look and say, okay, what do we notice? We notice on the lower time frames, there would have been equal highs here, swept out with this wick. So you could have refined your entry even more. For sending the signal out, we did not refine it to this level just because we wanted to make sure it got triggered for all the members, right? But you guys can clearly see that price tapped into our level, which was right here as a 1 to 7, tapped into our level and went to the TP, and then ultimately ended up reversing. And you can notice it was high, low, high, low, high, low. Why did this high not hold? Because we traded into a higher time frame POI that really gave us a lot of fuel to push us much higher. So that's a little trade breakdown. This is the easiest trade I've taken in quite some time. Is a really, really nice mitigation. So very happy with it. I just wanted to make this to show you guys the logic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like it, share it, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll talk to you all in the next video. So thank you guys, and we'll talk to you later.